take a look at writing for digital. Online copy works much harder than its printed counterpart. It has to not only provide information, but has to engage with visitors, persuade them, and successfully convey the brand personality. It also has to convey context and relevance to search engines. Because of the volume of information on the internet, writing for digital is inherently different than writing for traditional media. Content is king here. Writing for digital includes not only the content on your website, but also emails and everything in between. If it's being read on a screen, it's online copy. Just because a tree didn't die for it, though, doesn't mean we abandon the traditional rules of writing. Like many traditional and digital marketing principles, the foundations remain the same. As in any marketing communications, it's important to understand your audience. This will guide you in developing your content strategy, figuring out what topics your audience is interested in, and will help you organize the information you provide in a way that's easy for them to navigate. Of course, you need to research your audience in order to be able to successfully understand who they are. You also need to think about what actions you want them to take after consuming the information. This will help you to write to the actions as well. And you can then determine what information you need to provide so that they feel confident in taking this action. This is according to Holly Buchanan of Future Now. When you are researching your audience, it helps to think about the audience of one and personas. The audience of one is a digital concept. We are no longer dealing with vague audiences that are very broad, but many niche audiences who appreciate being spoken to as individuals. Personas, however, are profiles that a writer creates to embody the characteristics of the target audience for whom they are writing. It's important when thinking about audiences to think about their demographics, things like age, gender, geography, their psychographics, how they think, how they feel, and their behaviors, how they make purchase decisions, for example. All of these things will help you understand your audience more effectively to communicate with them well. Let's take a look at web copy specifically. Copy for the web has to be clear and concise, easy to read, well written, and well structured. It could be argued that copy for any medium should be all of those things. Of course, not all copy on the web is the same. When we think about short copy, we're thinking about things like a call to action, titles or subject lines, social media copy, and search ads. On the web, we sometimes have very little space to convey our message. Much like headlines, taglines, and other short copy in traditional media, short web copy has to engage and clearly communicate with the user quickly in order to get them to act. That said, the web also provides us opportunity to provide more information in the form of long copy. A major advantage of long copy is that it provides an opportunity to convey more and more specific information to the audience. Often we have to get our user to the long copy with short copy, so they have to work together. Long copy is still not as long as it may be in traditional media. Online readers behave differently than offline readers. Long copy should be easily navigable and scannable. Let's look at a few examples of long copy. First, we have news releases. As the internet has grown, so has the overlap between marketing and PR. The news release has long been a staple in the public relations field, but is now used by marketers as well. News releases can be published directly on the brand website, so don't necessarily have to go through journalists anymore. Let's take a look at articles for syndication. These are different than news releases as they don't contain a reference to your brand. That's sometimes difficult for marketers to wrap their heads around. They provide useful and/or entertaining information for the readers and are intended to be shared. Emails, this is fairly self-explanatory, but emails need to be somewhat brief so that the user isn't expected to scroll. You generally have one screen of information to convey your message and make an impact. Next, we have blog posts. Blogs can be very successful marketing tools. These posts can also be shared via social media channels and therefore drive users back to your site. Last but not least, there's your website copy. We've covered this in some detail in previous lectures, but there are some principles in writing that need to be addressed here. Your website copy should be easily scannable, which oftentimes means meaningful headings and subheads. You should also consider bolding or highlighting key phrases. Bulleted lists are helpful in web copy, and again, make it more scannable. As with any writing, limiting each paragraph to one main idea is key. While we're talking about long copy, we still have to keep things brief on the web, which means cutting the fluff and getting to key ideas quickly. Remove redundancies. And finally, include multimedia, images, videos, infographics, anything like that that draws the eye wherever you can. A good online copywriter has to understand SEO, or search engine optimization, and how this can be integrated into their writing. We'll cover SEO in more detail in a future lecture, but here are a few key points. One of the most important things to think about here is that you're not just writing for your audience, but for search engines or algorithms. Your target audience is likely to use a search engine to get to your site or to specific information or places on your site. Blending keywords into your copy, therefore, is a necessity. A keyword is a single word used in a search, but a key phrase is more than one word also used in a search. Once again, I'll emphasize the importance of research here. Key phrase research is an important element in digital copywriting. We'll talk about it more in the SEO lecture. Until then, just know that you can use tools to find out how people are searching for your information in the form of phrases, and you can then incorporate these phrases into your copy to drive them to your content. And always remember, content is king. We've looked at short and long copy, so let's think about best practices for writing across both. Here are several things that you need to consider. Does your copy convey a creative idea? You want to interest the readers. Does the layout make it easy to read? Is it scannable? Is it easy to digest? Is your meaning clear and direct? Have you cut the fluff? Is your information structured in a logical manner? Does the copy convey the features and benefits necessary to make your point? Will your readers clearly understand the content of your writing? And is the content of your message structured logically? Things like layout and legibility, tone, active voice, avoiding buzzwords and jargon, and emphasizing features and benefits are the ways to ensure that you're meeting these best practices.